Hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to the infectious madness of Dr. Dekker. In the last episode, we finished up with Jaya, who was telling us all about psychokinesis, and we got started with Bryce. Dear, sweet Bryce, who likes to take photos of ladies naked without their consent. How wonderful. And he has been rubbing his shoulder a lot. Is your shoulder okay?
No. You have an interesting aura, Doctor.
Okay. Okay, is that an actual question? An interesting aura?
I don't often see auras, Doctor. But yours is unusual. Like, you're more than one person. Maybe I've had a few too many drams.
I'm guessing that's a reference to the fact that anyone could be the psychologist. If you're playing along at home, then you are the psychologist too. Congratulations on your Cambridge degree. Oh, that was interesting. Okay. Now then, let's go for a recap.
Hello, Doctor. I've been thinking about our last session, and I just wanted you to know that I'm not a bad person. I know taking naked photographs is wrong. But you don't know what it's like until you face the same temptation. I'm assuming you don't know what it's like. Do you have an extra hour, Doctor?
Okay, it wanted us to answer that. Tell me about the paper spike. What else can you tell me about Dekker? Did you bury David Castleford? Yes, that was in our notes. No, I don't have an extra hour.
Thank God for that. There's someone else in my hour. A hooded figure. Watching me and following me. I followed it too.
Okay. That is extremely interesting. I'm just looking to see if there was anything else we had to ask Bryce. No, it was just about the paper spike and David. And let's go for them too. Did you bury David Castleford?
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer. There are a lot of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it. Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is short-shouldered. I do remember her face. She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed agitated. Her husband must have been a giant. The coffin was so heavy. I remember because aft port side sprained his ankle. That and he wasn't lifting correctly.
Oh, that is interesting. Let's see. Agitate. I cannot spell That looks about right.
Is that supposed to mean something?
I don't know. Let's rewatch this.
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer. There are a lot of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it. Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is short-shouldered. I do remember her face. She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed agitated. Her husband must have been a giant. The coffin was so heavy. I remember because aft port side sprained his ankle. That and he wasn't lifting correctly.
Oh, that did not flag up any italics. Oh dear. We're gonna have to use our brains to figure that one out. Also, let's go for the paper spike. What do you know about the paper spike?
Dr. Dekker frequently used that paper spike on his desk as an example. I'm sure he did it with the other patients too. He'd make me look at it, touch the point to see how sharp it was. He'd tell me that because I think it's sharp, it will hurt me. But if I thought it was nothing, it could pass right through my hand.
Ooh. Dekker was absolutely trying to encourage psychokinesis in his patients. 100% he was. Was it sharp?
In the last couple of sessions I had with him, he put the spike through his hand. He'd be grinning at me while he was doing it. No blood, no nothing. He tried to make me do the same, but I wouldn't.
Good for you, Bryce. I don't like you, but good for you on not being peer pressured. Hooded figure.
I don't know who it is. My initial thought was that it was you. That I told you about my affliction and somehow you'd got it too. Now I think maybe it's the military or some organization that wants to use the hour themselves. Maybe it's Dr. Dekker risen from the dead. I need to talk to you about him.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how the game is going to want me to word that. You want to talk about him.
In simple terms, I've got nothing to say.
Mate, you wanted to talk about him. Don't look at me like that.
I don't know who it is. My initial thought was that it was you. That I told you about my affliction and somehow you'd got it too. Now I think maybe it's the military or some organization that wants to use the hour themselves. Maybe it's Dr. Dekker risen from the dead. I need to talk to you about him.
Okay, you actually want to talk about the military. Military. No, I can see my mistake right away. Military, there we go.
I'm surprised I haven't been approached earlier. I mean, my skills in the military. Special ops would be a breeze, wouldn't it? Waltz in past everyone during the midnight hour, get whatever you want, and return to friendly soil. It also makes me think that they might already know all of that, and that they want to get rid of me in case I tell anyone else. Would you do something for me if they get me?
Bryce, I think you're having delusions of grandeur. How would the military know about your midnight hour? If everyone stops everywhere, how are they gonna know? Unless someone has reported to them, like, Colonel Hargrave, someone's nicking TVs from fucking, I don't know, Argos. Why was that the first place that jumped into my brain? Technically speaking, the first place that jumped into my brain was Sainsbury's, and I was like, does Sainsbury's sell TVs? It's been a while since I've been in a Sainsbury's. But yet, how is the military gonna know? Unless Jessica's dad is a flight lieutenant. He's high up in the military. He's the head of MI5. And she's like, hey, I had a weird incident. The door to my bedroom was closed and then I blinked my eyes and it was slightly ajar. Also, there's this weird guy who lives opposite from me. I think it might be connected. Like, unless that has happened, how are they gonna know, dude? Also, I might be willing to do something for you, but you need to specify. Oh, God. Oh, I want to know what you want. I don't want to say no in case it's... I don't know, it might be something like, please look after my dad, because his dad's in a care home with dementia or Alzheimer's, I think he said. So if it's something like that, then yeah, of course I'd help. But if it's something like, please keep taking naked pictures of Jessica and bringing them to my grave so that my ghost can look upon her, then I'd say no. I'm not gonna do... Oh, go, tell us. I want to know what.
Would you tell Jessica? I love her. She didn't really know me that well, but I did love her. And also, there's a hard drive in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet. Please destroy it. Please, don't look at it.
That's where he's keeping his photos of her. Oh. One, I'd be willing to destroy it, and I wouldn't look at it. Not a chance in hell. I don't know if I'd be willing to tell Jessica that he loved her. This is her neighbour. She thinks this is just the nice man who lives across the road. She smiles at him sometimes. And... oh god, she doesn't know that he's got, you know, ulterior motives and desires. That does beg the question, should Jessica be told about the photos? Because here's the thing, this might sound weird given how aggressive I've been with Bryce. My answer is no. I don't think Jessica should be told about the photos. Because here's the thing, this'll sound so weird. She doesn't know that she's been taken advantage of. And it's not like Bryce has done... It's not like he's gone further than taking photos, if you know what I mean. Like, there's not any chance that Jessica could be pregnant with the spawn of Bryce. At least I fucking hope not. Telling Jessica, all it would do is soothe Bryce's guilty conscience. Jessica, as far as she is aware, it was a split second for Jessica, and there is no evidence of this abuse. There is, you know, there wasn't any evidence. So if he came with these naked photos, she'd just have more questions than answers. It's not like he drugged her and took photos of her. Then she'd be like, something happened to me. I am distressed by this. Telling her that she's been abused when she doesn't know that, I fear that would just end up causing her distress. The photos should be gotten rid of. Bryce should be punished. I don't necessarily think that Jessica should be made aware of that fact, though. It's difficult. It's difficult because on one hand I feel like she has the right to know that someone violated her privacy. Someone took advantage of her. However, it's such a weird situation, and I am talking exclusively in terms of the game. I am not talking about any kind of real life scenario. An extra hour does not exist. This scenario is impossible in real life, and I am talking exclusively in terms of this scenario, okay? I feel like it would just cause her unnecessary pain, and she doesn't deserve that. She should be allowed to just continue on with her life unhindered by the knowledge that her neighbour was an absolute fuckwit. Let's go from the top here.
I spied on Dr. Dekker, not long before he was murdered. I'm not sure I should tell you what I saw in his basement.
Dekker! Dekker, no! Tell me it wasn't a sex basement.
I'd been feeling uneasy with Dr. Dekker for some time. I mentioned how he'd changed before, so I began spying on him at home. One night, the basement door was open, and Dekker was returning upstairs. I skipped past him, and there she was, a girl. It was difficult to tell. It was dark, and she was chained.
Dekker! What the it was a sex basement! The fuck? The fuck?
Don't know.
Mate, you literally just said... There was a girl in his basement?
I removed the chains, dressed her, and sat her in the police station. There's no evidence, though. No evidence of what he'd done. But she was free. I saved her. I'm not evil. I destroyed evil.
Did you take any pictures of her, though, before you got her dressed? That is the question. Bryce says he took the girl in Dekker's basement to a police station. Okay, you took her to a police station.
That means nothing to me. Yes, Vienna.
Oh, okay then. I don't know what yes Vienna means, but whatever. If he took her to a police station, then there might be a police report. Here's the thing. This could be a perfectly innocent type of sex dungeon. This could have been some kind of well, he was a dude, so he wouldn't be a dominatrix, but you get what I'm saying. This could have been a 50 Shades of Grey scenario. In which case, she's expecting like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some of that good shit. Wait a minute, why the fuck are my clothes on and I'm in a police station? Bryce, you could have ruined a perfectly good evening for them two. I'm hoping it was a consensual sex dungeon, please. Please let it be that. And where did you follow the hooded figure? After the sex dungeon, let's move on to the hooded figure.
Whatever it is that's following me, it doesn't want to catch me yet. If I move towards it, it runs away. And when I follow it past temptations. A bar brawl, an open till, an open bedroom window. Like it's testing me.
Oh. Maybe it's the time police, dude. You've been fucking with time. You shouldn't do that. A bar brawl?
I split the brawl up.
Okay. An open till?
I did nothing. I'm not stealing any more.
An open bedroom window.
I looked in. Watching other people is somehow built into our genes, Doctor. There was an old woman in bed. I went inside. Her bed covers were smoking. I think she'd fallen asleep holding a cigarette. I took the covers and put them in the bath. She'd have died otherwise. And no, I didn't take any pictures.
Good job. Good job not being a pervert. Ooh. I find that interesting. He's getting tested by this hooded figure to, I don't know, see his morality. Ooh. Did Claire ask you to do something with David's body?
Nobody gave me the memo that Claire was telling everybody about our arrangement. Sometimes a few slip out the back for student use too. These things happen in all cemeteries. It's best not to broadcast it.
What? Pardon? I'm sorry, I need to see that back.
Nobody gave me the memo that Claire was telling everybody about our arrangement. Sometimes a few slip out the back for student use too.
Medical students.
These things happen in all cemeteries. It's best not to broadcast it.
When med students need cadavers. Got it. Okay, so Claire did. She took the body back. Okay. Let's see. Once again, I'm just... underlined some things to ask her about. Ask everyone about the paper spike. Got it. Hello.
I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about. She was playing outside.
Okay. I hope that nothing bad has happened to her. She's alive. If she's playing outside, that means she's alive. Also, let's see. So that I don't have to keep coming back to this, I'm gonna write this in my notes. Okay, let's see. We have a neighbor. Blood. Steak knife. Husband. Dead man. Murder. Okie doke. There we go. Okie doke. Let's see. Have you seen your arrest report? Do you know anything about the paper spike? Let's go for that one first.
It sounds to me as if Dr. Dekker's murder was a spur-of-the-moment thing. If you were planning to kill someone, you'd bring a weapon with you, wouldn't you? I imagine that the paper spike made a very good weapon, though. It could look quite menacing, glinting in the moonlight.
Claire, your imagination startles me, but she does make a good point. If you were planning on murdering someone, you'd bring a weapon with you, unless you knew there was a weapon in the room. And a paper spike is quite deadly. Ooh. What was it? Have you seen your arrest report? Question mark.
It makes for interesting reading, doesn't it? I can tell you're dying to ask me about it. Fire away.
Alrighty then, love. Neighbour.
My neighbours seem far more interested in my business than they are their own. The lake house only has one house opposite, and it was on sale for some time. I suppose I should have bought it.
I like that. She's so rich that she's like, you know what, to prevent getting neighbours, I'll just buy the house opposite, but she didn't. Oh, didn't Claire always have her sessions with Dr. Dekker in the morning? Why would she say about moonlight? Oh. Weren't your sessions in the morning?
Sorry. I don't know.
Okay, game, how do you want me to word that? Moonlight? Didn't you say your sessions are in the morning? I was so close.
So quick to jump to conclusion, Doctor. Obviously I meant sunlight.
That's a load of bullshit. I know bullshit when I see it. No. Nah. Blood.
It's a messy business, stabbing someone. You'd imagine that it would be like slicing into a pie with all the filling just slowly oozing out, but it's so much more dramatic, like popping a cork of a bottle of champagne. Blood sprayed everywhere.
Claire, once again, you scare the ever-loving shit out of me. Steak knife.
The steak knife was the closest, sharpest weapon I could lay my hands on. I didn't really have much time to think about it.
Husband?
I don't know, Doctor.
Did I spell husband wrong? No, I did not. Okay. Dead man.
That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know he's alive.
Okay. Okay. Here's my thinking. If I were thinking realistically in terms of real life, if David is dead, who is doing all of the hunting and skinning? At the same time, you know, if the coroner was like, he's dead, if the police were like, he's dead, if they buried something and then, you know, she got the body back, in all likelihood, she would have to be the one killing and skinning things and, you know, just lying and saying, oh, it was my... Hell, she might genuinely believe that, oh, it was my husband doing that, it was my husband doing that, but it's actually her. But because this is a game and, you know, the nature that this game has presented me with, I'm somewhat inclined to believe that she might have brought her husband back. Not murder. Murder. Okay, we talked about that apparently.
That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know he's alive.
Okay. Fatally wounded.
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So I fixed him.
That's a lot to unpack, so I'm gonna talk about the funeral. Have I spelt that correctly? I think I have.
He's buried at Henley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him.
We have. He says... Bryce says the coffin was heavy.
Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult, unless you pay the right people.
Okay. Hello. I should tell Bryce that Claire says he's been smuggling bodies. We are just gossiping among the patients like, oh yeah, Claire says that you did this. Elin, Mariana's been saying that you do this. Da-da-da-da. Jesus. Okay. So she's admitting that she smuggled the body out afterwards. Okay.
He's buried at Henley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him.
Okay.
Bryce was a pallbearer for David. He's also a grave digger, I believe.
Oh, okay. Just... That's all there was to it. Oh god, this... As I said, there's a lot to unpack here.
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So I fixed him.
I feel very badly for Claire in this situation. It's the fact that David... oh, what's that bracelet? Whatever. David knew Claire since she was a little girl. Potentially since she was a baby, because if you remember, she mentioned that David was her parents' friend. And he had been looking after her. Not looking after her like she had been in his home, but he had been, like, watching out for her since her parents' death. And somehow, presumably when she was of legal age, I hope when she was of legal age, they hooked up and got married. I feel like Claire was maybe groomed by him. I get really bad vibes with David. One, who dates your friend's daughter? Who the fuck would do that? Two, if you've been involved in this child's life since she was a little girl herself, that's fucked up. I feel like maybe Claire entered into a relationship with David when she was very young, very naive, and... Here's the thing, Claire can't be that old herself. Her parents died 12 years ago when she was very young. She mentioned that. I think I put her age at 9 when her parents died. Let's see. I can math. That is it. So she'd only be around 21 years old. Maybe that's too young. Maybe 11 or 12. In which case she's... Let's be generous. Her parents died when she was 13. So that would make her 25. And David gets with her when she's very, presumably of legal age. So I'm going to go with 18. He's with her for a few years. And then he says, hey, I don't love you anymore. I don't know how old Iris is. If Iris is younger than Claire, then you have effectively been told, hi, you're 25. You're too old for me. Which would be absolutely awful to hear. Or maybe David realised that, screwing your dead friend's kid that you've been looking out for since she was a little girl, maybe that's a bit fucked up. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, and instead I'm going to start dating someone who is more age appropriate behind this girl's back. That is... Either way, I can see why Claire would be furious about all of this. Oh, I feel really badly for Claire, basically. I am out of time for this episode. In the next one, we will find out just how Claire fixed David. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below. And if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.